What is up, guys? This is Joe with Optics, and I have Ash joining me as well.
Hello!
And today we're going to switch it up a little bit. Instead of doing reviews, we're going to talk about Disney movies we really want to see remade. Since we know Disney's not giving up on these remakes anytime soon, we might as well talk about things we actually want to see. Now, we know they've made some that we didn't really want. That's why we're kind of going into this. So Ash and I each came up with 3 Disney movies that we love, and all of them are pretty much underrated Disney movies as well. So the first one on my list is The Great Mouse Detective. It's basically a mouse version of Sherlock Holmes, which is already awesome, and then you just add cute mice to it, it makes it even better. Growing up, I love this movie. Not just because the mystery aspect of it, but also at the end, it got pretty dark.
Yeah.
And the movie in total was kind of scary at certain points, especially as a child.
Thank you. The evil bat with his creepy little peg leg and then the laugh and no. It's just creepy.
Those are the reasons why I want this to be remade. It was already weird and kind of freaky as an animated movie, but bats aren't exactly the cutest. So making a live action one, especially giving it a peg leg, it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be freaky. And also seeing Ratigan Hulk out at the end would definitely just be awesome. I remember the first time I watched the movie, I legit thought that Basil was gonna die when Ratigan turned his evil rat self, and that's something I'd love to see in live action. So the next Disney movie on our list is Oliver and Company, another extremely underrated Disney movie. If you haven't seen this one, it's about a cat that's basically just an orphan and then ends up getting roped into a bunch of con artists that are just adorable dogs. The main highlight in this movie, other than the adorable animals, is Billy Joel, of course. Hearing him play Dodger, who's just a mutt and just an awesome dog, is great. From the way Dodger jumps throughout New York City, all the way to the end with the intense, car chases, it'd be awesome to see live action, and would be super intense if they kept to it the way it is, and just expanded on certain things.
Except that evil poodle. I wasn't quite a fan of her. But I do enjoy Dodger and Oliver. They're just the cutest animals ever.
Next, we move on to Ashley's first choice, which is
The Aristocats! In this movie, you get really adorable felines, which are basically adorable cats all the time with their unique personalities, and you get the pampered cats down to the alleyway cats, and it's just hilarious. Basically, the synopsis of this movie is you got a tomcat that meets a Persian family of felines that inherit a rich fortune, and the butler gets jealous, so he decides to kick them out. So they end up meeting, and they fall in love, and it's just the cutest thing ever, and, well...
a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers there. You're welcome. Marie was just my favorite kitty. She was just super cute and totally, prissy. I loved it. But what made the movie the best was definitely the jazzy music scenes you got out of the cats. I thought it was really creative and just super cool and hilarious, of course. And just seeing them all together was just so cute. And I would love to see a cat movie. To be honest, I'd really love to see this adaptation just because we got 101 Dalmatians movies back in the 90s and early 2000s. We're getting a Cruella de Vil one. We had a Pete's Dragon, but now I want the cats.
Coming soon to video cassette.
Don't worry, guys, we don't only talk about animal movies. Ashley's next movie is
Pocahontas! Pocahontas was one of my favorite movies growing up. It wasn't just her, it was Little Mermaid. But I'm talking about Pocahontas. She needs a movie. This movie is way underrated due to the really good cast that they had. Not only did they have Mel Gibson, who plays as John Smith, Linda Hunt as Grandmother Willow, and Christian Bale as Thomas. You had a great starting cast, and Pocahontas was flawless the whole way. I loved her. Pocahontas is definitely underrated because she had such tenacity, and the need to be different and to be yourself by following your heart was one of my favorite parts about her. She just really took nature into her hands and ran with it. All of her songs were absolutely beautiful. They just always took my breath away. They were very deep with a lot of meaning, especially with giving some of the nature thought into it, because that's a lot of what the Native Americans involved themselves with. the nature. Colors of the Wind was definitely my favorite song out of the entire movie. It really shows you that nature belongs to be sacred and loved, but we can also learn from it to help ourselves grow as a person, or as a pack, or even a group. It was just beautiful.
I will say the way it was animated and directed, especially for Colors of the Wind, was amazing to watch.
Not only was Colors of the Wind one of my favorite songs, but so was some other ones. There was another song that talked about greed, and Savages, where it talked about discrimination. I really liked how Disney portrayed the history of the Native Americans in regards to their songs. I thought it was just well done.
And I do like the way it was portrayed. In history, it often portrays the people who found America as these heroes, but in this movie, it wasn't exactly like that. If anything, they were the villains.
The biggest reason I'd really like to see this movie is because Disney's recently been diversifying in a lot of their movies, and I would love to see a Native American movie because we don't really get those that often, and I'd love to see one.
The next one is kind of one that's on both of our lists, but it's more so Ashley's, and that is Atlantis.
It's a perfect mix of characters and their personalities in the real world of searching through and for Atlantis. The animation was amazing, especially certain scenes. My highlights were of the glowing blues on Kita, and their vehicles were just breathtaking. Just thinking of the movie gives me chills.
And this was animation that looked amazing over 15 years ago. It would look even better live action, especially with the technology we have available now. It would just be absolutely astonishing. Atlantis is just an awesome film, and if you haven't seen it already,
then you should definitely make it a movie.
Alright, so the final one on my list is Treasure Planet. This one goes hand in hand with Atlantis for special effects especially. The story for both movies are great, and Treasure Planet I feel is really underrated and doesn't get enough attention. And I was even more upset when I found out recently there was plans to make a sequel, and the sequel got scrapped. The movie follows a character named Jim, who's played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as he basically searches for Treasure Planet, and he was obsessed with this since he was a little kid. He eventually gets a crew to go and meets a really cool cyborg. He also gets a really cool creature that's named Morph, and the creature does what his name says. He can morph into different things, and it uses it to be hilarious and adorable at the same time. The action and the way these space pirate ships maneuver, and seeing Jim on his air surfboard, whatever it's called, would be awesome to see. And the movie itself is already an amazing movie, and then if you made it live action, would be phenomenal.
Well, that sums up our three each of our favorite movies that we would like to see made into live action. But we also know that we only give you in a total of 6, so why don't we round it up to 10? But since Disney isn't stopping their live action videos, tell us what you want down below in your comments. We do want to also see some additional movies like Fox and the Hound, Meet the Robinsons, and Hunchback of Notre Dame, as well as, guess what, Tinkerbell.
That wraps it up for this week's video. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we are on Instagram and Twitter. You could always hit us up there as well. See you guys next week.